Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way. And this year, I am dividing my projects up by week. So the second full week of the month, which is this week, I am working on the Splendid Sampler to quilt along. So this is a project we started last year, and I am 47 of the 100 blocks into it. And I didn't want it to just, go away. I didn't want to just let it fizzle out, this project. So that's why I'm dedicating a week, a month to it with you guys here. Where we left off last was with the N Paws block. Right here, we are doing some needleturn applique. And we started this one up again last night. So we did this little paw last night, and we were just starting this little toe pad, kind of like these little guys. It's a bouquet with little paws in. All of this is embroidered. So we are getting the needleturn applique done right now, and then eventually we will get this guy embroidered too. I suspect this is one of the more longer taking on the, if we're dividing all these blocks in half, this is on the longer side of the 50% than some of the other ones. So we're taking our time, we're getting it done. So that's what we're gonna work on today. Oh, thanks, Gretchen. I know, it's such a wonderful quilt, and I'm trying out so many things that are new for me with this quilt. I'm doing it very light colors. We're calling it the blonde quilt. I don't usually do that, but I love the look of them, so we're giving that a try. And I'm doing the quilt as you go process, something that I've never done before, and that's been really a lot of fun so far. And then also, it's a way for me to practice my free motion quilting on the sewing machine. So I want to keep going with it because I'm really gung-ho about all those things. So we're starting it up again, and we'll continue with the needleturn applique tonight. So thanks again for everyone. I see you popping in now. Just a reminder about our Koala fundraiser. That is still going on. I'm hoping to still get an email out tomorrow about the quilt. So we will be doing a stitch along for the Koala embroidery pattern next week on Saturday, so the 25th. And I'll be sending out more information about this again. There is information on Koala, the Penguin and Fish Koala fundraiser page, so be sure to check that link below here. But I'll get more details on the quilt, the embroideries we'll do for it, and where you can send your embroidery if you want it in the quilt. So I'm going to get that together for you guys yet. And then also next week is the embroidery of the month stitch along. So the third full week of every month is going to be our new embroidery of the month stitch along for that. And this month is the Mandala Love embroidery. So here it is right there. This is just on a piece of fabric, but we're going to actually stitch it onto a tea towel. So if you have a tea towel, you can do that. We are all sold out of the bundles again. So you guys, we sold out of our bundles just past the second day, in the morning of the third day that this was out, so January 3rd. And so I relisted it as a pre-order, but again, I had to put a certain amount on because of just the supplies, and we are out of those now as well. However, the PDF is still available, so you can still get the digital download of it, and then you can put it on your own tea towel by tracing it, and we'll talk about that a little bit next week. Or you can print it out onto a piece of sulky stick and stitch. I'll show you that as well. And you can just get any tea towel you want, really, from the store if you want to still stitch it on the tea towel with us. So that'll start next week. So you'll want to get all your supplies for that. The pattern does have the DMC floss equivalents on there if you want to check that out as well. So next week, you guys, make sure to get the pattern for that. But yeah, if you're wondering why the link isn't working anymore to the bundle, it's because the bundles are sold out. even the pre-order bundles. Oh, I did get a notification from the person that I'm getting those keychains for the bundles from. She's sending them out, so I will probably be able to start shipping the pre-order bundles this week still. Monday at the latest. So you should still get them within the time that we are stitching it during next week. I'm hoping that is the case, but it's looking good. So be on the lookout for that, you guys. All right, I'm gonna flip you around. I have one more thing to show you, but I'll flip you around for that. Okay, you guys, the last thing I wanted to show you was the swan hand stitching. I was talking about that a little bit yesterday, but here is my swan hand stitching, how it's going. So this is the first embroidery of the month. So this is December's embroidery of the month, and I wanted to make like not a tote bag, like a zipper pouch out of it. So I kind of have it drawn off the shape that I want the zipper pouch. And I have a piece of batting. I have my front fabric, and I have a little piece of thin batting, and then a piece of back fabric that you won't actually see because it'll be on the inside of the pouch, and the pouch will be lined in theory. But look at the neat effect it's getting. So the swan has no stitching in it, and it almost looks like poofed out on the surface. And then I've just been going around and around, kind of echoing the shape, and I'm just going to continue doing that. Then I also want to make a back piece that has like maybe waves or something like that. But I just wanted to share with you because I've been working on the hand stitching with my Thimble Lady needle, and it's always fun looking at the back, I think, because you can see more of the shapes happening. So that's a little show and tell. I'm super excited for this. I will keep you updated for sure on how the process is going on turning this into a bag. But anyway, that is that project. That was the first embroidery of the month. I'm super excited to see how our mandala turns out on the tea towel. I think that is going to be so much fun, you guys. So that's next week. All right, so let's get cruising on this as fast as we can. So this is the Stitch N Paws block. What we did yesterday was this paw. That took 40 plus minutes just to do the little paw pad. And we did actually get this little toe pad started. And we're going to work on that a little bit more tonight and hopefully get a few of these other ones in. Here is our labeled little piece of fabric that we're getting our applique pieces from. I have them numbered. So this is toe pad 2, 3, and 4. This one's number 1. So we'll go around there coming up here. So, all right, I even have my needle ready. So I am using, just to recap from last night, I'm using a straw needle. I believe this is a size maybe 11, a size 11 straw needle. So it's a fairly thin needle with a super sharp point, and it is longer than your typical needle, which just makes English paper piecing and needle turn applique like this a little bit easier. And then I've also tied the thread to the end by the eye. I've never done that before, but that's working really well actually with this very thin thread to help me so I don't keep having the thread fall out of the eye of the needle. And I'm also using 100 weight, which is very, very thin, silk thread that I've run through a piece of beeswax just to give it a little bit more heft. So you guys have told me, all you professional needle turn applicators, that the silk thread is just really fine and really nice for needle turn. So I have acquired some, and I am giving it a go. And so far, it's been just really nice. Oh, Leah, I'm glad you got your Christmas card. Your daughter forgot to give it you. That's funny. So you missed the cutting tutorial on this one. I did not fussy cut anything on this. So the itty bitty borders. Oh, this you mean? Oh, maybe I did. So I think I remember thinking that I had to be as straight as I could because It was kind of a plaid. Did we fussy cut this? I don't think we did. It just kind of turned out kind of plaid like that. I did try and be straight. Obviously, I'm not so straight on some of these, but I was paying attention a little bit. But no, it was not. It was not fussy cut. All right, we got a few stitches on here already, so I can take this pin out. It is going to be in my way, so I want to remove it. I'm going to hold it down here a little bit. So now here's the deal. We have to stuff all of this fabric, which is quite a bit of fabric, into this tiny, tiny little space. So one of the things that you can do to help with that is by removing some of that fabric. And we're going to do that by just cutting a few little triangles out of here. And all this is doing is really reducing the amount of fabric that we got to stuff underneath. So I'm just going to cut another little triangle out of there. I think that's good. They're kind of odd triangles, but they'll work. So now you can see there'll be less, because when you turn it inside out, this is all going to bunch together. So by, we're kind of reducing, getting rid of a fold in there almost. All right, so I'm going to hold it with my thumb again. And I'm going to start slowly just tucking this fabric underneath. So again, I'm tucking it under to my blue line there. And I'm trying to match up the blue line that I drew on my applique piece with the blue line that I drew on the background, like this, but for this paw. So this is my warm-up period again. I feel like I gotta warm up every evening to the needle turn. But all right, now you can kind of see I got that curved shape. So before I go any further, I'm gonna tack that down with a couple stitches. Probably just 2 stitches, just because I don't want to lose that shape at all. So I'm coming out, I'm going through the back fabric and the fold, and then for like another stitch, I'm just going right across the fold into just the back fabric, and then going like a stitch length away, and then coming back up through both the back and the fold again, if you can kind of see that. Getting real close. All right, let's rotate a little. So we got that curve started. So let's keep tucking this fabric in. I'm actually grabbing it with the point of the needle almost if it's not budging. Let's flip that whole thing under. I want to flip it all under and then pick it out a little bit, see if that works. Sometimes that works a little bit better, sometimes not so much. And I'm holding it with my thumb too, like my thumb is controlling what's popping out of there or not. There we go, that's a good shape. That's that, I can see my line there again now, and I can see the top of the oval really. All right, good. Let's rotate. We're just about done with that curve. We'll get this last little bit in. Trying to tuck this little by little. So we got all that bulk all tucked into this tiny little curve shape. I keep poking my finger a little bit. Get another stitch in there, hold it down. All right, and then now we can kind of tuck this whole edge over, really. It's a nice straight edge. I'm just gonna get my finger in there and do that. Ooh, I did not do that well though. Okay, there we go. Ooh, I'm not holding it down very well tonight. I think I need to get a stitch in here. All right, let's try that. Oh yeah, I'm glad You found your book, Kathy. That's nice. Yeah, that's a bummer when you lose part of the project like that, losing the book. I try to house all my projects and all the supplies I need together for a project, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Ooh, Bonnie, good job. Bonnie got some of her granny square strips cut today. Yeah, I'm so excited for that project. So the Granny Squares quilt, that is what we worked on yesterday. Not yesterday, last week. And that is a brand new project. So not like this one, where this one we were well into this project when we started yesterday. But yeah, that Granny Square quilt, we're starting from fresh. So even picking colors and everything, I did all that here with you guys. So if you need help picking colors, you can watch that video. I do have the videos of all this up on YouTube. All the replays are up on YouTube. But yeah, I'm super excited for that project. We have a lot of strip cutting to do yet, though, too. Lots and lots. But what will be so nice is that we'll be able to just sew once we get that done. Oh, you know what? I forgot to cut out some of the bulk. I was wondering why this is kind of being a little bit weird. So let's do that now. I'm gonna cut some triangles out of here. I'm like, this is a lot of stuff down in here, and that's because we didn't trim out any bulk yet. So you do want to be a little careful with this. Like if you get too close, too close to your line, it's gonna want to fray. So you want enough there to be able to tuck it underneath, but you just want to be able to still remove some of that bulk so it can even be tucked under to begin with. So I'm just going little by little here. Ugh, this is not going to be pretty. Just trying to grab this one piece here. All right, let's undig this. I don't think I placed it on the fabric well enough to line up with this line here. So I'm just going to do my best. I'm going to follow the lines of the applique. Maybe I'll try and make it a little bit bigger. This little bend here. Trying to poof it up just a hair. All right, I think we're going to have to go with that. I'm going to try and soften this point a little by stitching right on top of it. Uh-oh. There goes my needle, so I guess my knot didn't last anymore. So we got this stitch out of it. Let's rethread the needle. So since I'm almost done, I'm not going to bother tying a knot in the eye here. Oop. There we go. I just need a nice clean edge. So I just got to make sure that I don't let the needle slip out again. Did we get it? Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't quite get it. A little strand that's goofy, but I'm going to try and... There we go. It was kind of unraveling a little. Remember, this is silk thread. It's acting a little bit different than what I'm used to, just the cotton thread. I guess that's another thing we're experimenting with this quilt. New materials, new techniques. That's kind of what this Splendid Sampler is for, though. Like, you can be, like, the best needle turn appliquer, but maybe you haven't done a lot of embroidery, you know? So it's a chance to do what you love with the needle turn and practice something that you haven't done a lot of with the applique. And same with like all the other techniques out there too. All right, this little bottom bit is not going to be pretty, but I'm just going to try and get it tacked down. I think it'll look a little bit better once I get the blue lines off of there. I think it's actually fine. There's one little bit here that's poking up. Like I said, I feel like I need a warm up before getting too far along with these. I'm gonna try and dampen that little point that's out. All right, that's it. I'm gonna go around this spot one more time, and then we'll tie it off in the back. through to the back. It's decent. It's a little pointy. It is a very small piece with some pretty sharp turns in there. So it's not the easiest piece to do. And like I said, I need a little bit of a warm up. Let's see how the next one goes. Just kind of tying a little knot back here. Good enough. All right. Let's trim that. I'm going to get a fresh piece of thread. Just because I think I need a piece a little bit longer than that. All right, so there we are. We got that first little toe on there. We're going to get it. This is a slow and steady wins the race sort of situation, I think. All right, toe pad number 2. I am going to trim out like that, 3/16 of an inch or so around. We can probably do a little less because this piece is so small. Let's try a little less this time. Although you don't want so much less that it's going to fray and it'll be hard to turn. But I am going to try a little less than we did in the last one. All right, how about like so? Okay, let's get, I almost threw away this piece. Can't do that yet. I have the last 2 toe pads on here. We'll just leave it right there. Let's get my little applique pin again. Oh yeah, it was hard doing raw edge applique because it's so tiny. Yeah, this is so small, and it's just, oh, did I lose that piece already? No, here it is. What's funny is that most of the appliques have been so tiny for the Splendid Sampler that I'm not sure I've actually done a larger needle turn. I bet you it would be like really relaxing, really nice just to like do one long curve that you're gradually tucking under. No, ours are all tiny little points, tiny little curves, where we gotta stuff all of these pieces, underneath. All right, so that's pinned down. Oh, what we're doing is we're matching our applique line to the lines underneath as best we can. So we're tracing it in 2 places. We're tracing it onto our actual final piece so we know where to place things. And then we're tracing the shapes onto our applique pieces so we know, where to cut and where to tuck it under. Oh, you ended up embroidering the whole thing. Nice, Robin. That is an alternative. So if this is just way overwhelming you guys to be doing all this needle turn applique, I mean, it's a lot. Well, first of all, you don't need to do it needle turn. You can fuse it with a fusible stabilizer and then just have it be the raw edge. So you could fuse the stabilizer to your fabric, cut it out just right on the shape, and then fuse it to your piece and be done. You can machine stitch over it if you really want. So that would be an easy way to applique it. I'm probably doing like the most long, difficult way to do it, but I wanted some practice with the needle turn. I don't need a piece that long. So we're giving it a go. This needle turn applique is something that I want to get better at. So I'm just I'm gonna run it through the beeswax now. I'm just wanting to get some practice in, even though it does take forever. But yes, so you could do raw edge applique where you're just fusing it down, but you could also just embroider it, right? Really, you could also just with permanent marker draw this on if it doesn't bleed, and then like color it in. You could do that too. You could tint it with crayon or colored pencil. That's always an option. Oh, you do needle turn, Gretchen, because you like the poof of it. That is something that I really love about needle turn applique. So you can kind of see like these leaves, these paws are just almost floating, like poofed, like domed almost off of the top of the fabric, and that is the look of needle turn applique. And it does give it another layer of texture, another layer of feel, like for sure. You know, it is a couple like at least a millimeter above here. It does have heft to it. That for sure is a needle turn applique trait. I'm gonna tie this at the eye of the needle again. See how that goes. I don't think I tied it very well. That's pretty long. Oh well. And then I'll tie it at the bottom as well. It's kind of fun. I've never tied the needle like this before this week. But yeah, so I do like the needle turn look as well. It is fun. And it's just got that nice hand done look to it as well. Yep, that's me too, Barbara. I prefer needle turn to raw edge, but applique, but I struggle with some of the piecing. That's, yep, with these little pieces. All right, I'm going to start on this kind of straight edge again here. It's always kind of a little bit easier on a straight edge, and you can just tuck the whole thing under with your finger. You don't need to use the needle. Again, I'm trying to get it to the blue line on my applique piece and match that to the blue line in the back. And let's just, I tied a knot in the thread. Let's get these first little edges. I'm going to go around the same spot there to kind of lock in that first stitch. Okay, so I'm working along this relatively straight edge. I keep stabbing myself a little bit. All right, grabbing just a couple little threads of that edge. And I can get 2 stitches out of there. It's always nice when you can tuck an edge under and get a couple stitches, but around these big curves, I'm lucky to hold it down and get 1 stitch in there before I gotta putz around with it a little bit more. Okay, let's remove that pin. I am going to try and reduce some of that bulk again. Let's get that. Look at there. Maybe a little bit over here as well. Just a little bit out of there. Whoop, just flung my needle. Good thing it was tied down. It's kind of fun. All right, let's match that up again. All right, going around that edge, let's try tucking this under and tacking it down. So the other tricky thing for me is that I'm stitching this with batik fabric, and that's fabric that has been dyed. It's a bit of a different process than fabric that's your typical quilting weight fabric that's printed. Batik fabric is usually a bit coarser and thicker feeling, and it's probably not the easiest thing to needle turn applique. So like around these curves, I'm noticing that it just wants to pop out. It doesn't want to stay stuck underneath there, and it wants to fray a little bit more. I think that's, you know, obviously it could be my skills aren't there. Oh, Catherine says it does, batik does fray, so she doesn't use it much. Yeah, and it's just wanting to fray a little bit more, and it's just a little stiffer. It wants to jump out. So I give myself more of a challenge, I suppose, with that, where I didn't really need to. So I'm just working to get it down. But yeah, I can tell cutting into it that it does want to fray relatively quick. So I'm just trying to tuck it under and tack it down. All right, let's get that little stitch on the end. This curve is going better though, quicker, and I think it looks more like a curve than the last one. Don't want to stab myself. Oh, Leslie, you don't feel like it frays? I haven't worked with it a ton. I bought, this is some of my mom's scrap that I'm using, some of this batik, but I bought a couple little pieces of batik, and I would love to do some just all batik fabric. So batiks, it typically has a lot of this like kind of, oh, it's tie dye, not, well, yeah, like this wax relief. So it's painted in wax first and then dyed, and then the wax is taken off. So you can kind of see these fun shapes. So that's kind of what batik is. And because of the nature of dyeing, it's, the same on both sides. So, it's not like there's a wrong side or a right side to it, but they're all just so beautiful, I think. And they're pretty popular now again too, I think. But they're just so rich and beautiful. Oh, batik's a paint to hand quilt too. Oh, well, that's good to know. I will keep that in mind. But just, a lot of them, they're just so like rich and juicy and ugh, so pretty. So I would love to do a project with them at some point. Going through a lot of layers of fabric here, so my needle's getting a little stuck. All right, not bad. I think that curve looks pretty good, and it went relatively quick. That's awesome. So we're at another straight edge here. See, like I'm saying, I need that warm up. I need that little bit of warm up, and then I can start cruising at it again. It just, you got to get into it a little bit. So if one of the little paws is wonky on every single one, it's because I needed a warm up first. All right, I'm just about at the point that I think we should trim out more of these triangles. So I haven't been trimming them out from the beginning. I trim them as I get to them because we're handling this a lot, and every time I touch it, it's going to want to fray a little bit more. So I only want to like reduce the fabric, or if I'm doing a point, like an inner point, cutting a notch out of it, like a clipping it. I only want to do that right when I get to it. Otherwise, it's going to want to fray. I know I needed my little gripper thumb there to pull the fabric through. It's just that one little bit. I think I was going through a bunch of seams right here, because this little finger pad is kind of going through that border edge a little bit. All right, again, this isn't quite getting all the way down, matching with the background drawing, but I am just trying to get it tacked in there. All right, let's do these last little bit of bitty curves. Trying to shape them in here. Ugh. It is tricky. These little curves. Ugh, I gotta start over, which is bad because it's gonna be even more frayed now. I'm just gonna go little by little. Let's do a little bit, tack it down a little bit more. I want to get to the top of it here. Stay under. And I'm completely gonna ignore this little curve here. That's just a little too tough, and it's a bit far away from me. Just get it tacked. There we go. Not perfect. How am I liking the silk thread versus cotton? I mean, it's definitely thinner, so that's kind of neat. It's easy to pull through. I haven't like broken it or anything, so I'm guessing it's pretty strong because I am pulling on it and it doesn't seem to be just breaking. It feels completely different, the silk thread that I'm using now versus cotton thread. It just feels, I mean, someone mentioned like baby hair. It does feel like that, just super thin and fine and like glossy, like you can just slide your finger down it. And this is, I've put beeswax on this too, just to give it a little bit more heft. It's so like floaty. So it's a different feel altogether. And not to mention that it is very fine, which I'm not used to working with either. So it just feels different more than anything. But I do like how small it is. That is nice. And I did tie it to the end here to my the eye of the needle. I'm not sure I would do that with the cotton thread because I think it would be too big. Well, this didn't turn out half bad. All right, this is going to be my last stitch here. I thought that curve was going to be worse, but it's not too shabby, I think. All right, last little stitch. Just a little bit off from the back, but I think it's still going to look fine. It's not the end of the world with these shapes if that toe's a little off. All right, there we are. Let's tie it off on the back. I'm just grabbing a couple threads on the back and twisting it around for a knot. Sure, there's better ways of doing this, but this is how I'm doing it. Oops, I messed up my knot too on top of it. Ah, good enough. I'm just going to catch the back of this, run it through, and trim it off. All right, I think we can get going on another one yet. I'm going to cut this knot off of the eye of the needle there. And we'll get a new piece of thread. Ooh, that's not still caught on there. There we go. Okay, get my little pieces out of the way. All right. It's coming along, just every little step. I mean, it really is puttering away at it, but then all of a sudden it's done, which is kind of magic. All right, I think using that little less, some more, like closer to like 1/8 of an inch, I think that worked fine. Do that again. Okay, so this is the finger pad number 3. Okay, so we have this. You know what? I'm going to trim this away. Just because this is getting a little frayed there. Now I know that that's the special piece right there. Okay, let's match this up again. So this is the 3rd finger pad there, and I'm going to match the lines here on the applique piece with that as best I can. I think that's probably okay, about right there. Pin it down. I'm going to work on this right straight edge area there, so I'm going to pin kind of on the other side. Right there. Okay, that looks good. Oh, I need needle and thread yet. All right, that's a decent amount. Don't need a ton. Oops, I didn't get a very good cut there. Okay. I'm going to just run that. It's so floaty, like it's almost like nothing. So I am going to run it through here. Run it through my beeswax. Does beeswax go bad? I think I just acquired this for free somewhere. I should find some like real, like local beeswax or something from the area, like a little brick. That would be kind of fun to use. But it'd actually smell good and stuff too then. I might have to dig into that idea a little bit. Oops, I think I missed the needle there. All right, there we go. Oh, pin from the bottom. Like I should have flipped that around maybe. All right, let's tie this knot first. Tying the knot at the needle with this fine silk thread. There's gotta be an, oop, shoot, lost it. I'm trying to thread air basically It's so fine. It's got to be an easier way to tie this knot. That's what I haven't figured out yet. It's okay, we're getting it. All right. Oh, put the pin on the back side. Oh, I see what you're saying. Let's give that a try. And I won't stab myself by doing that. I hope not. All right, we'll give that a go. So I'm gonna try that, pinning this on the back side. I mean, we only have this here for like 2 stitches, so it's not really in my way. So kind of like that. Huh. All right, let's give that a go. So I'm gonna start here. Let's tuck that under. I don't know. I kind of feel like I need a magnifying glass too. So I've been watching that. I'm done watching it now. I've finished the 2 seasons that are available, but I've been watching that Repair Shop. It's called The Repair Shop, and it's like a British show, but it's on Netflix right now. I don't know if any of you guys have started to watch that, but there's a clock maker or a clock fixer. I don't know. It's called like an ornithologist or something like that. He's got a funny name. But uh, he has like some glasses that go over his other glasses, so like a second pair of glasses that must be magnifying glasses. Those would be fun to pop on every once in a while. Just have them at the top of your head, pop them on, and good to go. And then he's got like a little like monocle when he wants to get real in there. Oh, you love the repair shop? That's awesome. Oh, you guys are cool. You guys are watching it. It's just so sweet. Okay, my favorite one though, you guys. It's in season 2. I don't know why I love it so much, but they repair this stuffed animal elephant, and this elephant is like the sweetest thing ever made. It's one of those. It's like a stuffed animal that's um, over 100 years old. This elephant, and it's on wheels. You know, like those little pull toys that are like this big on wheels, but this is large, so the wheels are like this big, and you know, a little child could sit on this elephant and ride it. Oh, you watched the elephant today, Barbara? For some reason, that elephant is so beautiful, and the transformation is just so sweet. There's something about that elephant one that I just really just love him so much. I don't know what it is, but I want him. The cute little elephant guy. Oh yes, like jeweler's glasses, exactly like that knowing. Yeah, it would be neat to pop those on. I have a friend who used to work with me here that does eyelash extensions, and she's just really great. But she was talking when she was working for me, wanting to have those glasses because they use those too, those super magnifying glasses. I'm gonna take the pin out now. Um, and you know they're like prescription for you and all that. Oh, you wish you had the skill of those teddy bear ladies. I know, they are just the best. I am still rather surprised that they haven't repaired a sewing machine or a quilt or anything like that on the show. I would think that would be something that would pop up. Or other textile type stuff. Maybe they on purpose. I mean, obviously on purpose. They decided not to do that, but um, a little bit of a bummer. At least they have the teddy bear ladies. They're pretty cool. Oh, yeah, Peter, this is definitely a test in patience. That is for sure. So, really, that kind of goes back to why I started all of these. One of the things of why I started doing these live videos. And this is like, gosh, maybe even 5 years ago now, at least 4 years ago. But I wasn't crafting as much as I wanted to. and I was kind of fizzling out on larger, like I wouldn't even start larger projects like this, and because I would fizzle out on them. So I made my word that year consistency, and I stuck to it. So I did these live videos every single night, and because I know I'm going to do these videos every night, I know I'm going to be working on something for an hour. And I think the knowing of that is what's giving me the patience to like fiddle around with like needle turn applique like this, because this is ridiculous that I'm taking an hour to stitch tiny, tiny, tiny little ovals onto this tiny little piece for a quilt. You know what I mean? But it really is so relaxing and rewarding. But yeah, without the consistency of knowing that I'm going to be working on it every night, I think the patience comes out of that. Just the knowing. So in that case, I don't know if it's really patience. I think it's just consistency more than patience. Trusting the consistency of doing it. I mean, these little ones are pretty fiddly, but so I don't know if I'm really leaning into the zen of the needle turn applique for this, but for some like larger pieces, like even these leaves are just a little bit bigger, but I definitely can feel you just start to tune out and just stitch, and that is a relaxing feeling, just a recovering sort of feeling after a long day or whatever. Just being able to stitch, and then you can see your effort when you're done too. I mean, I might not see the effort of these little paw prints today, but eventually when we have this finished quilt, then I think it'll feel special, these little bits put into this. All right, I'm reducing some of that bulk from here again. Again, not too much so it doesn't fray. It is a little bit harder to turn when you take all those corners out as well, but you almost need to fit it in there. All right. I'm going to tack that down before it slips away from me. Got a little bit of a point here, but I'm not going to worry about it because I want to just get it tacked down. Oh, thanks so much, Debbie. I mean, I definitely see improvement with the practice that I'm getting from the consistency of this, the patience and consistency. I think the biggest thing is that I've tried more things. Just the doing of it, the act of working on it every night, and just like asking questions and stuff still, like, oh, for example, like, we're stitching with this silk thread. I've never done that before. So I've had that experience, which may not seem like much, but like when you start adding these little experiences up, like trying different things and tools and techniques and all that, all of a sudden you like know stuff and can do stuff, and you can feel confident around, other people who do stuff, which is just kind of, neat. I always said, like, with the first Splendid Sampler quilt, when I started that, I was like, okay, I know enough about quilting that I can stand in a room of quilters and be okay. But I'd be, I feel like I'm faking it a little bit. But now, I mean, after putting in all this time and learning new things and trying new tricks and all that, I definitely feel like, okay, I actually know stuff now. I can hold my own. All right, that one's a bit wonky, but who cares? And I think we'll have this be our last one for the night. I think let's prep this other one. We have a few minutes left. We'll get it like how we got it last night. I'll prep the piece. We'll pin it on. Maybe I'll even get the thread ready. But I think we'll leave it there. So we'll start up tomorrow, stitching the fourth little pad on. So we got basically 3 done tonight. It is a test of patience. It really is. But knowing that I can do, well, okay, first of all, that's why it's going to be so fun to next week to do like an embroidery. So this is the project we're going to work on next week. This is going to be so much of a quicker win than this. So like with these long projects that it is just piddly and slow, if you pepper in some quick win projects, that kind of makes all the difference too, I think. So I think this trading off weeks that we're going to do this year, I mean, sometimes it's sad to leave a project when you're in the middle of it or when you're excited about it yet. But I think this trading off weeks might help us not like burn out on anything. Like if we had 2 more weeks of needle turn applique, I think that'd be tough. Oh yeah, so Peter, this is a water soluble marking pen. That's what this blue pen is. It will come out in water. You could just spray it with a spray bottle and it would pretty much come out. I'm probably gonna just leave it there, and then when I wash my whole quilt, it will go away. You can take a wet rag and kind of dab it off too. So yep, it will come out. If you're unsure, do a test on your piece of fabric on like a little corner first, but it should come out fine. Oh, Barbara, you like the weekly schedule? I've never done that before. I'm a poor scheduler. I'm trying to be better at that. That kind of goes along with consistency a little bit. So I'm trying to get better at that this year. So this is a good test, planning out, putting a schedule together for these projects. All right, we'll pin from the back again. That did work okay. Lining up those pieces again. All right. So this guy should be ready to go for tomorrow. Oh, let's just get the needle yet. I might have enough thread on here. Do I have enough thread, do you think? This should be enough. Let's risk it. Let's see if I can. Oh God, that doesn't feel like a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off, and we're gonna get a new piece of thread on here. If it was like 1 inch longer, maybe. I'm just cutting off that knot. Just trying to get a handle on here. There we go. That works great. All right, we'll get a little bit of thread on here. That's better. All right, I'll just run this through the wax again. I do think that is like physically giving it more heft. It's easier to handle after it's been through this wax. Hi, Bonnie. All right. Yep, it's a bit more hefty. Needle, here we go. Thread that. Let's tie that knot. Oh, geez, stabbing myself. Must be getting late. I always kind of stab myself with the needle at the end of our session, really. Did that on that other project too, just stab myself right at the end. I am not gonna add interfacing, I don't think. I'm gonna just stitch right on here. So I'm not gonna add interfacing. So some people, I have not tested this outright, but a lot of people say that you should take the blue out before you iron it. I've not really done that. I mean, I just kind of leave it on. I mean, this one we had a lot of ironing in, for example. This is all pressed on, and I didn't take any of this off before ironing it. I suspect it'll be perfectly fine once I wash it. Um, I don't think it'll be permanent. If you wanted to test it, I would just put a couple of the marks in a corner and then iron it and then see if you can get it out. Um, and if you can, then I wouldn't worry about it. And I don't think I'm going to actually iron this before I start stitching. Oh, but I suppose if you're, ironing on an interface or something. I just think that's going to be a little bit more difficult to stitch through. All right, I'm going to, you know what? I'm not going to. I was going to like do the first couple stitches, but I think I'm going to just leave this here ready to go. The knot's in the end, knot's tied here. I'm going to just stick the pin in here and call it. We are all set up. Oh, and the nice part is I can get rid of all the scraps from that. So now this is my last bit of applique pieces ready. So that's for the third paw. We got to do this all again right here yet. Oh, you heard that it returns after a time? I'm going to have to do like a real test of that sometime. Like where I just take some fabric and draw on it and iron it. Like a side by side. I'm going to have to try that sometime because people have talked about that, but I've just not dug into it very much to the point that I iron it. I don't care so much. But yeah, I think that'd be fun to try. We'll do an experiment one of these days here. All right, you guys, I'm going to flip you around and we'll call it an evening here. Oh, soap can set the blue to make sure to rinse it out first. Oh, that's interesting, Gina. Okay, so we'll have to do a test of soap, a test of ironing. We're talking about the blue lines here, and then how easy they are to get out. But all right, there's our second paw coming along for sure, right there. That's awesome. So we will get a good start on this third one tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I think we could finish. I think we'll be able to finish all this applique yet this week. Ooh, that would be awesome. Awesome. That would be great to get done with the needle turn applique. And then when we come back to it again in February, then we can do up all the embroidery, and this will be a finished block by then. Ooh, okay, I like it. That'll be good. So awesome, you guys. Thank you again for joining me here tonight. I love hanging out with you guys every evening here. Just chit-chatting about whatever we want here. So I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. That's where all the replays live. You can look up every block from the Splendid Sampler to buy the block. So I'll have all the videos per block together. So you can check that if you're looking for info on a specific block from this. And that's the same with all of our projects. They're grouped together. And yeah, so be sure to get the PDF. Again, we're out of bundles for this now, but the PDF is still available this month only. This is our project for next week. We'll be stitching the Mandala Love pattern onto a tea towel. And again, our Koala fundraiser is still going on. I will have more info on the quilt. We'll be doing that hopefully by tomorrow. We'll see. So awesome. Nice chatting again, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.